Hello everyone, this is Shelby with Shelby Creations. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den. You know, one thing I've noticed with our craft of junk journals and paper crafting, there's a lot of new ones coming into this area of crafting. And we see, you know, so many people, oh, well, you need to use this, or you got to have that, or you don't. And just to prove that fact, these are things I'm going to use today that I have. You know, at some point, we all have an old book that we can tear apart, or we can find one at a charity shop or Goodwill or yard sale or whatever. I do have some scraps. I pulled these out. It's just basic white cardstock. Then just a piece of cardboard, an old piece was laying around, so why not use it? This came out of a card. I like the design. And this also was from a card, but it wasn't cut very straight. So after those, I showed these, you know, in the previous, some of the things I found while cleaning up. I've got a business card. I've got some old payment receipts that I had found, and even the piece that goes under that where everything was torn out of, I even saved those. I've got some little pieces of twine. This happens to be, you know, the baker's twine, but it could be any type. So let's see what we can do with those. Oh, also I have some little bits and pieces of lace that was in my last Happy Mail I got. So let's see what we can do with those. Oh, another thing. When we buy something that's fragile at the store, they always wrap it up in you know, this humongous sheet of paper. I simply folded it up, and all I did was I cut down one side, so I've got a piece of it, and that's a lot of paper. I mean, this is how wide it is, and those of you that have got know that it goes way out. So fairly big piece, and it's, you know, it's what they wrap up like cups and plates and stuff with when you buy them. And then also, if you get something from Amazon, they usually have this paper in the box to cushion things. I have some of that too. So what I'm going to do, and I'm not using my scissors here, this is just a regular pocket knife, and all I'm going to do is just cut a piece off, maybe. There we go. Sometimes it sags, but that's okay. Well, it doesn't want to cut. That's okay, we'll tear it off. So, none of this stuff is anything I bought, except, you know, maybe the books, because I did buy old books. And I think I got them for like 50 cents at Goodwill, if that. Or it could have been from the library, their yearly book sale. Cardstock. You know, these are scraps that I had. So really nothing new here. So let's see what we can do with all of this. So I'm going to scooch most of this aside, because oh, one more thing before we even start that. I want to show y'all a little trick. Now, I don't have the room, those of you that seen my room tour, I don't have the room to do a lot in copy stain paper. But in making copies, I did have some paper that ended up with where I had to clean my ink heads, as you can tell, and a little eyedropper. I put instant coffee in here, and I mean, I got the bottle of instant coffee at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, yeah, probably a couple of years ago, and I still have quite a bit left. And this was mixed kind of strong. And if you want like the splatter effect, see if this will do it now. Not as good as it did before, but you know, we're on camera. All I did was put some down, Now, I'm just going to take my finger and run it through and just sort of smear it all over the page. Like finger painting when we were kids. You need a little more? No problem. A few more drops. This one finger technique is not going to get it. It's going to take too long. Put a little bit more out. And you can do 2 or 3 pages like this. But the good part is, if you let it drip a little bit, but it also comes out on the other side when it dries. So you don't have to have a lot of space to get, several pages of coffee dyed paper done. So I'm going to set this over here where it can dry somewhere. Out of the way. And then I do have coffee on my fingers. What I have? Baby wipes. Now, all right, let's say you don't have baby wipes yet. Not a problem. This is coffee. Just a few spritz of water and wipe it off. You don't need baby wipes for this. And I don't know if you can see it on there, but the coffee did come off. I'll set that aside. Now, back to, gotta dry that off. Back to where we were. Now, I think I'm gonna use this. Now, this part here, this is not cut straight at all. And you can, I'm not sure if you can tell it there, but there is a ridge there where, I don't know if it was folded or came off of a box or what. So when you don't have a straight side, it's hard to get the sides even. So all I'm going to do, and this is a little trick that I don't know if I figured it out on my own or saw it somewhere, but, and you don't need, fancy glue. Basic white glue will do when you're starting. The only thing is, white glue is a water-based glue, so it may tend to leave your paper a little streaky. Now I'm going to set this close to, I know this edge is straight and this edge is straight. So put it down there and turn it over. Make sure I get it all on there. Now from here, let me find my scissors somewhere. Here we go. All I'm going to do is cut this section out. Now, what I'm going to pull out, I call it my chomper. It's a little guillotine, a little 6-inch viscose guillotine. And I know this edge is straight and this edge is straight. So I'm going to try to get that under the edge. Just like that. And I'm going to line this bottom edge up. Move it down a little bit closer. With one of the lines going horizontally. And then chomp that off. What that does is that gives me a straight line to start with. Now, I can put it in here and go around my edges, getting the edges even and get rid of that bump. And I don't have to sit here and measure with a ruler or whatever. It's something really simple. I mean, let's face it, there are times. And now, I want you to notice, along the side here, I'm even on that side, so I know I'm cutting straight. Make sure all that. And put that away. And now, what I have, I've got a perfectly square, and then the back is ready to collage on or whatever I want to do with it. But there we go. Very easy. And all from paper that we would have normally thrown out as trash, but it's not trash. So that's one. All right, let's take this piece of card right here. just a piece of cardboard. And I do want to cover it. Now, one of the easy ways to do it, which I kind of like, because I like easy, because I want to get things ready so that I can use them. I'm going to come here and go all the way around first, because I want to make sure my edges are covered. And then I'll come in here in the middle and put my glue down. Trying to avoid sticking my fingers in it, but nope, didn't work. I stuck my fingers in it anyway. Alright, now I'm going to take the brown paper. Oops, that's stuck on that side, so we'll turn it over on that side. Move things out of the way here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to line it up with the bottom edge, because I already know that the paper here is not straight, but my cardboard is. Give it a good smush, and then I'm going to come in with the other side and put my glue down there. Getting it as close to the edge as I can without making too much of a mess, which isn't going to happen. I'm going to make a mess anyway. Now, I'm going to make sure that when I fold it tight. See how I'm squishing that over? And I'm pushing it as I fold it down, so that when I fold it over, I've got that on both sides. Now, simply going to come around here. I know this is larger than my card. And no, it may be a funky cut, but I'm not throwing it away. So now once this glue dries, I can come back in. Let me find me a credit card or something, or an old, like an old gift card. And I'm going to take it and smooth it out so that that glue goes all the way to the edge, especially down that crease. There we go. Yep, I had quite a bit under there, so now I've got glue on my thing, but that's okay. It'll come off. And then we can just see how close to trim it right along the side of the cardboard. See how I fold it down there? That gives me a starting place. And then I just hold my scissors close to the cardboard and cut. And there we go. Nicely covered, ready to do something with. I can see where it went into the glue. That's okay. We can do the same. All right, now this is a glass mat, and the printing is on the other underside, so I can simply come here with a glass scraper. Be careful, do not go against the blade. And then get all that off, so I'm ready to go again. Now, let's try one of these. Now, no, it's not going to fit that way, but it will fit this way. So, do the same thing with my glue. I will put it all down my card, getting it close to the edge. And then I'm going to put it near the edge. I don't really want it on the edge. That, I'm going to turn it over. Give it a good squish. Make sure that glue, yeah, that went all the way down because, again, on my mat, but it's okay. Now, instead of doing the back side of this, I'm just going to trim this out because we can use our book pages for the other side. Oh, see, I'm not very good at cutting. I can't draw a straight line. I can't cut a straight line. Sometimes I can't even cut a straight line with a paper cutter. Oh, excuse me. Oh, trying to breathe and swallow at the same time does not work. Trim off that bottom edge. We'll go all the way around here. It's okay. Now this one measures 8.5 inches. So what I'm going to do, I know on my cutter that if I go all the way to where this line here is, where the plastic top stops there, it's 4 1/4. Which will be just, or should be close to it, which will be just about half of my paper, or my strip here. So now I can make 2 cards. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to come back here and cover the back side. We have book pages. So let's use some book pages. How far? Alright, so what I'm going to do, yeah, it doesn't, you'll notice book pages will tear good one way, but they don't really like to tear the other way. So let me find my ruler, because I really botched up that lower edge. It doesn't want to tear from that side either. Oh well, we'll do it this way. But then if I come down this side, it tears fairly straight. Sort of like a sheet. When you're tearing a sheet, it'll tear one way, but the other way, you end up having to cut it because of the way the threads are. Well, that just didn't want to work for me at all today. Now, that's going to be a little shy, so let's do it this way. This is the white side. So I'm going to come in here with my glue. Now, if you have double-sided sticky tape, you can use that. But this one, this is the glue that happens to be sitting right here. So I'm just going to put it down there like that. And then I'm going to come back here with my ruler because I don't want to cut it. I simply want to tear it off. And you know me, we're going to use these strips somewhere else. So there, I've got the start of a little journaling card or a tag or something. Now on this side, why don't we use the other piece of this? We can do that. And you notice I'm not inking today because, you know, sometimes when you're new, you don't have the ink yet. But that's okay. You don't always have to ink. I just enjoy doing it because it gives almost a depth to what you're working on. Okay, now let's use a piece of this. Ooh, this is really old. I think I'm just gonna, let me use my ruler so I get a somewhat decent edge on here. That looks about straight. If it's not, it's okay. that paper tears so softly that it almost breaks. Give it a little crease there, just tear it off. I didn't fill up my glue before we started today. So it takes me a minute to wait for it to get down to the bottom. And there is that one. Just that simple. And no, they don't go even, but you know, it's okay. We can deal with that. Now, I wanted to make one big journaling card out of this. So, this is where this excess piece is going to come into. I take it where I cut it, tear that off. And I'm going to start putting this on the back. Get the glue all down there. So how is everyone today? It's actually been a day without rain. I think this is like the second day in a row here. I know some are dealing with a lot of heat. I was talking with a friend of mine in Japan. She says it's been over 100 there. So they've had heat warnings. I know we've had a lot of heat in some areas of the U.S. There. Now, swish it down, making sure that glue gets spread. Now, I wonder if this will allow me to tear it along. No, it's not gonna be happy doing that. That's okay, we're gonna come in here and just trim it with our scissors. There goes one edge. We'll get this little edge down here. Oh, I like the way that cut off. See, what I'm doing is I'm putting my scissors right up next to that piece of cardstock and just following it down so it gives me somewhat of a straight edge there, or at least goes as close to that edge as I possibly can get. I went up a little bit here, trim that off. So now our back is covered. So let's come back in here. We have this little piece here. Now this I am going to ink, if I can get my ink out here, because this one is we're going to finish it today. Ink that edge. Now as you ink some of this older paper, it will tear as you ink it, like it did there. Don't worry about it. In fact, I'm going to come in here where I've seen those tears and actually ink them up a bit more. So we have this. Get that. And as I'm holding it and putting the ink on it, it's tearing even more. I'm not sure how old that book was. I'm not putting it straight to the edge. But there goes one piece. Oh, those were the cards we made. So let's keep those separate. Didn't I have, yes, right here. This little piece. I've got paper scraps sticking to me. Now, if you're wondering, I had someone ask me, I haven't bought any inks yet. What color should I start with? Well, what color do you like? I mean, a lot of people will start with a black. It's a basic ink color. You can get a basic black ink pad quite a few places. You can go with a brown. But to start off with, I would use an inexpensive ink. The Ranger inks are a little pricey, but they're worth it in the end. But it's not something I would recommend to someone new. Start off with what you can afford. If you can afford the Ranger inks, fine, go for it. If not, I have let the glue get on my bottle dry. Oh, get rid of that. Remember to put the lid on. Now, come in here and just ink up the card a little bit. Now, I probably will come in and round off these corners, but for now, this will do. Now, on this side, I'm just going to ink around the edges and go down here and this way. There. Now, we're back to here. I want to use this little business card I found. It's got a name and number on the back, but I doubt if that's a legitimate number now. Or it could be, you never know. But I'm sure if it is, the person must be retired. So let's put this right down here. Just like that. And then I'm going to use one of these little payment stubs. These used to be my parents'. I found it going through a bunch of stuff, but this was way back in the day. That looks good. Go around here. Now, one thing with some of these older ones, they have wrinkles already on them, and you can simply come in here and refold the wrinkles and highlight them with your ink. We'll do it catty-cornered because it's not going to fit that way. It's too big. Maybe I could. Yeah, let's just tear it off here. I mean, we'll end up using the other piece somewhere. Yeah, I should have refilled my ink, my glue, but I didn't. That down there. Oops, that's upside down. I'm gonna put it upside down. So just like that. Now I have one of these little strips. Oh, that's not it. Where's my strips go? I have them over here. Oh! Had to put them way over on this side. I am going to add one of these. Just because it's here. Sometimes making collage, you can go with a theme-based collage, but I'm just pulling what I have on my desk that I had already pulled out. Things that, I have. Well, stick that right down there. Doesn't have to be straight. So there's my back. Now I can still come in, notch my corners and whatever, but that is way too bright. So over here in, see, what have I got in this little container? There was, I cut this off of a card. It was actually a sympathy card. I had saved cards for years. And then going through everything, I decided, why save them anymore? Let's use them. Come on. There we go. Sort of break up all those bright colors. That one towards the top. Just like that. Because I may come in here and add something. Ooh. I could put that. No. I don't want to do that. So for now, that looks good. I like that. I like that. So now I've got a nice big tag to go in a book, or it could be an insert, or whatever I want, but there it is. So what we've done today is just play with things that didn't really cost us anything. Yeah, I've got a lot more tickets there, but we took the picture off of, I don't know whether it was a card or I assume it was a box, because it had the fold grooves all the way around it. But now I've got that, and then on the back I've got a place ready to collage. Yeah, I could put that on there. Let's do it. Let's do it while I'm sitting here before we say goodbye for the evening. Yes, it's evening here. Just stick it down there. There. It's the start of the back. So we did that. We've got two little, these can be journaling cards. We've got the blank on the back. We could add a sticker, a flower, or whatever to the top. We could round the corners and make tags. Yeah, but we've got something to start with. And this was just scrap cardstock. Then we took the back page of a card and we turned it into an insert. It could be a tag. But we've done something with what we have, and that's the main thing. So if you've enjoyed what I've shared with you today, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you'll be notified of upcoming videos. And until next time, bye guys!